Get all this. I just comb my beard out. As an awakened man, I have the ability to look back upon my life and be able to share it with you, but in an awakened state. Uh, I remember hearing other people when they awake, they would say their whole life makes sense. Yep, that's everything makes sense now. Everything I've always wondered why this happened, why did that do that. All of those questions have been answered now. So I'm going to go back as far as I remember in my life, right? And I'm gonna take you guys with me. I'm gonna go as far as back as I can remember. Okay, so I was born in 1969. Okay, the earliest I can remember is about, I'm gonna say six, probably somewhere. It's something I can solidly say I remember certain things, and I'm pretty secure about that. Okay. Uh, I grew up in Seattle, Washington, in a place called Rainer Vista. It was the projects. It was considered the projects in Washington State. And if you go look it up, make sure you type in old Rainer Vista, not new Rainer Vista, old Rainer Vista, okay? And you'll kind of get an idea of where I grew up. Well, as a child, and this part is very important now that I'm awakened. I understand the childhood of every person is very important. I don't believe people understand how crucial that is. So I'm going to explain for those of you that understand this. I'm going to say this part of my life to you is very important. Though I grew up in the projects, my mom was very structured. I didn't get to hang out when I felt like it. I had a bedtime. Uh, there was no yelling and screaming, no cursing, no bad people in our lives, no problems, no nothing but love. Even though we was in the projects, my sister and I, we had our own rooms, TVs in them, cable TV, all that. We had all that in in the projects, right? But as I'm growing up as a child, in my mind, I'm thinking every kid is getting the same as I. Okay? So when I leave to go to school in my brand new school clothes that we just got, and I go to school and show them off, that's how I'm thinking every kid is experiencing. Why would I not? This is my world. This is the way I'm thinking. I'm thinking every kid is doing this. I as an awakened adult man that has now experienced the world, I now understand that that was absolutely not true. I knew as a kid in grade school, I didn't like teasing other kids. That wasn't my thing. Even though I always had good size and everything, so I was never picked on or anything like that. But I was also not a bully. You know, I could always see, and I'm saying this as an awakened person, but when I was thinking about it as a child, I don't know why I could figure that. But I could always see children or friends that just looked like they had other stuff on their mind other than playing and having fun at school. Uh, I also remember early as now I understand why my math teacher was always around me, and just she was just always on me because math is everything. Everything is math. Everything. It's undeniable. You can't. There's no way around it. Math is everything. That's now I understand why, because she could see I had a gift at a very young age. She knew that. I never understood why she was always on me. It just made no sense to me. Now I understand. Of course, a person that can see, they can see a gift in a child. That's easy. That's not really too difficult to see. But you got to remember, I thought I was just having fun. I just like being first, getting the gold star. I didn't even think anything of it. So I absolutely did not know. Okay. Uh, Now, say like I'm back in the projects. Now I can see as an awakened one, yeah, the people around there selling drugs with cool cars, none of that means nothing. That means nothing. That's all temptation that the negative side, the devil, whatever you want to call it, wants to suck you in. You do none of that. All of that is a facade. All of that is look at it as a trap door. Thank God my mom was on my ass. Thank God. I didn't get to hang out and do shit I wanted to do. I used to get mad about it because I couldn't. All my friends never had bedtimes. They could stay out as late as they want, hang out. All of that is bad. Thank you, mom. Thank you. Need to make sure that's clear that people understand how I grew up. I'm not even saying that mine was better than you. I'm just telling you, as a child, I did not know that everybody else didn't live like that. Uh, my mom just gave us love. As a child, I have no issues, problems. If I got an ass whooping, I deserved it. I never was like, oh man, why is she spanking me for no reason? No, if I was getting a whooping, I knew I was getting one. So when it was done, I wasn't mad at her and angry at her because I knew what I did. Um, let's see how else. Okay, when it comes to money, right? I remember the first time somebody showed me $100 bill, right? And everybody was so fascinated about it. They was like, "Oh wow, look at this." The first thing I thought was, "Who makes this?" That was my first thought. Who makes that? And then I said, nobody else can make it. Only one place can make it, and nobody else can. They were like, nope, you'll go to jail. And this, I was like, that's weird. I said, okay. I would understand. Right now, I would stop and say, that is a very important question. Who makes that? Who is it real for? Why are these people fascinated by this one piece of paper? Why are they fascinated by it? Nobody knows to ask those types of questions. They just go, oh man, the government controls this and this and that. Let me tell you something. You better stop thinking like that. Now I understand why I asked that question. I completely get it now. I get it. What else? When friends, as you get older, when friends come into your life and start telling you ways to make money that could send you to prison. Now, at those moments, you got an option. You got a clear option to make. Are you gonna do that and risk the time in your life, which you can that only God can give you? And then also you're gonna wonder, like, what kind of friend is gonna offer another friend a potential risk of going to prison? Now, if I was back in those days, in my younger days, I would say a friend wouldn't do that. A friend wouldn't offer that. Friends don't listen. True friends will never offer you something to make money that can send you to prison. Do you understand? Never, ever. Wouldn't even come to our minds. Wouldn't even for paper. Lose the time of my life for stuff that they print. Are you crazy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Listen, if you don't believe me, go to the government's website so you can see how much they print it for. Are you crazy? That's what I would say to myself. I would make myself go say, look, go look at that $100 bill, go to the government's website and see how much they print that for. 8 cents. Then you got to think to yourself, is it worth 100 or 8 cents? It doesn't matter because it's imaginary for people that don't understand. Nobody's hiding anything. That's what I would say to myself. Uh, I remember when I used to go fill out job applications And they would always make me sign up for this retirement. Hey, you got to be part of the retirement plan and this and that. I'm like, wait a minute, when is retirement age? They're like, oh, it's 65 or 55 back then. I was like, I'm not going to be here that long. Exactly. You're not. You're not going to be here that long. You're not. That's part of the program, so they can get some more money and get some tax write. It's all business, because once you get hired, you're an employee number. You are an asset to the business that they can write off on taxes, and anything you believe that you're. I would say none of that. You're on the wrong side of that, Linnell. That's why none of that makes sense, because that's why you don't know. Of course, you're not going to retire here. Then why are they doing it, knowing that here you are 2022? You think you're going to be there till 55? No. Then why are they offering that? That's your tax write-off. That's why. You are here to make your money, build your money, save your money. You're not here to make friends. You're not here to make buddy and talk about work after work. You're not here to do none of that. You're here to make money and leave. Because you are supposed to take yourself out of the capitalism and put your business in there, not you. That's what I would say to myself. And here's one. When I got closer to graduation age, graduating, 18, whatever, right? Everybody's been shoving college down your throat. As soon as you're in college, what college you gonna go to? College. You don't know to turn to them and say, I don't know. I don't know anything. 18 years old, you don't know to say that to your parents. Oh my God, I'm gonna disappoint them. You don't really understand. Listen, if I could go back into myself, I'd be like, I'm not going anywhere because I don't have no money for college. Nobody saved any money for college. How do you think I'm going to college? Oh, you want me to get in debt like you? I would turn to my parents and say, do you guys still have your student loan debt? And they say, yes. That means your student loan debt's older than me. I'm not following you. I'm not doing that. You got to think about it. Student loan debt, you cannot bankrupt it. You know what that means? I need you really to think about this. When you can't bankrupt a debt, guess what that means? You're never going to get away from it until you pay off every single cent of it. Do you understand? That means you are owned. That's what that means. Starting at the age of 18, you're a business asset. That's what your social security number is for. That's what it means. You guys got to stop taking this shit personally. That's what I would say to myself. You know your social security number? I'll be like, yeah. That's the EIN for the business of yourself right now. That's your EIN for you. How are you doing your business? I would say, let me look at your credit report. That's the first thing I would say. I would say, do you know those are your slave papers? Those are your papers. Those are all the businesses that own you. See all that? See all that? Pages and pages of it? All of those businesses own you in the United States of America. That's what that means. Do you know nobody in the world would have ever told me that? There's no videos or anything I'm sharing with you. There's no videos on it. That's what I would say to myself. Do not get caught up in the credit world, and don't get caught up in it. That's a trick. Linnell, take what you learned in elementary school math class. The number line, 0, positive numbers, negative numbers, always apply it to your finances, and you will be wealthy, Linnell, period. Straight out, I would have got a job. I would have been stacking my money. I would have been staying home as long as I can, paying half the bills. It was half everything in the house for my mom, whatever, because that helps everybody, because I know I'm not going to get any cheaper paying half of everything. So that's what I would do. No questions asked. I would do it automatically. Make sure everybody's happy, especially me, because I know my goal. That's what I would say to myself. My goal is to own my own business. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. Only. No saving. Like, my relationships would be different. In my 20s, I would have associated with much different people. I wouldn't have been still associated with my friends in high school and all that other stuff. That just, hey, we've known each other. You don't. You think you do, but you don't. Because when I just now I can remember at that age, I was thinking, I don't know, when I'm 18, you think everybody's old, but what it really is that you're young and you just don't know that you're young. Because even calling a person old when they're 30 or 35, you know the person saying it is young. Those are the only, but young people don't really understand that they do that. But it's all psychological. They don't. But I wouldn't even known that. But today I would be very. I would not be so free with my body like that. I definitely wouldn't have been doing that. Definitely not. None of that. Uh, it would have been much more thought in it because you know if you get a woman pregnant, you're bringing a person to earth that breathes and eats and needs to be taken care of physically and mentally. And when a person is that young, you're just not ready for that. You're not. You think you are, but you're not. Maybe because you watch TV. It's weird. But I had my first son at 22. See, even when I think about it, if I was awakened at a young age, I wouldn't have had any of my children because that was way too young to be. I didn't even know myself yet. Just doing stuff, not even really thinking. It's crazy to think about it now. But even but I knew after about my third child at age 25, I had three boys. I have three boys. I knew something was telling me that you got to stop doing that, and that's who the person I am today, which is the higher self. Because I used to say this as a when I was younger. I'm like, what if I'm really working up to the higher version of myself? I was right. I was 100% right. Society is so noisy, you can't really hear your higher self speak to you. It's very difficult to hear because there's so much noise happening. Your friends, problems, relationships, job problems, you name it. You name it. That's noise. When you when I when I was first getting out of debt, my other channel, Savings Minus Debt, when I was first getting out of debt, uh, I thought, okay, I'm just going to pay off all my debt and that's it. But once I hit zero, I realized how noisy debt was. And so let me do the best way I can explain to you for people that have been you've been in debt in all your life. Okay. And this is a demonstration of noise. Okay. Once you're debt free, you're not scared of the mailbox. You don't have to worry about any bill collectors calling you, trying to reach you. Uh, you break the monthly cycle of monthly stuff. Like you don't really understand that you're really programmed. Like at the end of the month, you are literally thinking about all of the things that you have to pay. All of that doesn't exist anymore because there's nothing to think like that because none of that exists anymore because you have no debt. So that's when I got out of debt, that quieted so much noise. I didn't really realize it at first because I had been in debt all my life. So I had to get used to, oh, did I miss something this month? It was weird, right? It was weird. But then I had to, oh, it's not like that anymore. And then that's the best way I can describe noise. And and that was just about your debt. If you add in relationship problems, family problems, maybe some legal problems, whatever, that's a whole bunch of noise. When you're awakened, none of that exists. None of that stuff exists, and you don't even allow it anymore. So I would have the only the only woman that I would have even thought about having children with, she would have to be awake. She would have to be here. If I was in my 20s and 30s, awake like I am today, she would have to already be here. There wouldn't be, hey, I'm gonna bring you along, because to be here, you have to go through. You have to face everything. The best. This is the best way I can describe it. Everything you maybe have done wrong, never wanted to face, didn't want to talk about, or something. You have to. You have to take care of all that. How you take care of it, that's totally up to you, but you have to take care of it if you ever want to get here, because that's the only way you could have true peace. Everything has to be settled. You have to do stuff, whatever you have to do. And that includes, listen, that includes removing people from your life that do not need to be there. They cannot come here. They can't come here because they haven't taken care of their own stuff. Narcissists will never reach here. You understand? Because they can't. Because in order to be here, they have to look within, which they never do. Have you noticed? It's everybody else's fault and problems. And that's why. All you got to do is listen to them. They talk like that. That's how they talk. That's a dead giveaway. Everybody else's fault. Yep, it's you. I know it's not. The things that happened in my life, I know it wasn't everybody else's fault. My life would be, it will be, you will have to have a strong mind. You will have to have a very strong mind because what it is that you're going to be leaving a perspective of the world that you thought was the world. No, that's just one perspective of the world. You will have to leave people. You will have to leave things. You will have to just leave it. They're not going to like it. They're going to call you names. Some will even try to get you in legal trouble. Sure will. People that you wouldn't believe that will do it. You wouldn't even believe it. You kind of have an idea right now, because all you have to do is this. Watch how they treat other people. If you want to find out what this person you think that who loves you, that believes that, all you have to do is watch how they treat other people, and you will know what you will receive once you try to put up a boundary or tell them no. Be ready. That's what they're going to do to you. Because no one is special in a narcissist's life. Nobody. Not even themselves. They will crash and burn with you long as you come with them, because they're already there. They want to bring you there with them. When I think back throughout my whole entire life, it's easy to spot out the narcissists that were in my life, the ones that always wanted to destroy me for no odd reason. That's a dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. All right, now you got to do is think back in your life right now in relationships, and just think about the ones that literally just wanted to destroy you. Here you at the time you're taking it personally because you were in a relationship with them and stuff. So you just thinking it's you. All you got to do is take another step back and realize that they do it to everybody. Those are usually the ones, the narcissists, the ones that want to completely destroy you for no reason. Society will have you believing that there are no such thing as just normal breakups. Hey, it didn't work out. All right, see you later. Society does not believe that exists. It does. They just don't. There is no desire to make a video about it. Do you understand? There's no desire to video an amazing, great breakup. Nobody even thinks of to do that, because that's how normal perspective people think. There's no reason to record it. Why? That's why you guys constantly see the bad ones. And listen, you got to look at those videos different. If you keep doing whatever you're doing, you're going to be in one of those videos, police body cam, whatever, something, voluntarily or involuntarily. They're making money off of that stuff. And let me tell you something, chosen ones. Let me tell you something. The narcissist will suck you into the legal system, no problem at all. No problem at all. Next thing you know, you're going to have a video up there getting watched. Sure is. No fault to your own. Nothing. None. Though we don't care. I'm just saying it's just irritating. That's what that is. It's like, really? I could have just packed up and left and none of this would have been. No, the narcissists don't want you to leave like that. They want to destroy you first. That's what they want to do. But when you awaken, they're not really difficult to see anymore, okay? You have probably, listen, right now, there is nobody, 0.5% of the population could financially fool me. Like, the, the majority of people could not even. Narcissists are easy to see. You can just see the way they talk about money, what their goals are, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. The psychological is a language. Do you guys understand it? It's a language. Yes, it is. It's clear. That comes with the gift. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. No problems. Nobody really bothers you. People always begging for your energy. Hey, look, look at me. Talk to me. Read. Hey, read. Just begging for it. Just beg for it. No, you can't have none. No, this can. This is the higher version of the person I always thought all my life. I used to always say that. What if I'm just trying to reach the higher version of myself? I was right. And let me tell you something. Now, if you're on your journey right now and you are, you're going through your different perspectives, it's not really levels, it's perspectives, okay? Uh, and you ask yourself, is this my purpose? If is this it? If you're asking a question, that means no, it's not. If you're ever asking, have I reached my purpose? Because when you do, you will know you do. You will know you have. There will be no doubt that everything in your life will make sense. All the questions that you've always asked about some event in your life that you remembered, never understood why. Wow, that was weird. Then you call it deja vu. All the stuff that you just think. All of those things will now make sense to why you're remembering that, why that moment was weird, what happened there. It will instantly, just like that. Well, not instantly. You got to catch up, but it will. It would all make sense. Because here, let me give an example. I remember when I was 15, and I had snuck off with my mother's car. Okay, no license, nothing. I had no license or anything. Right. I'm with my friend, and we are driving down this famous cruising street, Broadway in Seattle. Okay, back then you hear Posse on Broadway, so Mix a Lot. Yeah, that's the street he's talking about, right? So I remember sneaking off with my mother's car, and I had my friend in there with me, and the light had turned yellow, and I just whipped through. Okay, the police pulled me over. Hey, you ran a red light, blah blah blah. Let me see your license and registration. I'm like, I don't have none of that. I don't have any of that. They were like, oh, the way she was looking at me, she already knew that I didn't. Okay, because I'm sure how I looked and act, whatever. As a grown up, you totally understand the difference now, right? So she said, okay. She writes me these tickets, hands them to me, and I get back in the get back in the car seat like I'm gonna start up the car and leave. She was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going home." She's like, "Not in this car, you're not." She said, "You better find somebody with a license that's gonna drive you home, right?" I said, "Okay, whatever. Here I'm 15. Oh, I'm just gonna wait for her to drive off, and then I'm just gonna hop in the car and drive away, right?" So I get out the car, lock it up, and then I turn around. I look in the car, and the keys are locked in the car, and they're still in the ignition, and the car doors are locked. Okay, I locked the keys in the car. At that moment, listen. At that moment, I said, how in the hell did I do that?" That's what I said to myself. How did I do that? I locked the car up and left them in there. I said, that was one of those questions to myself. I thought that was weird. I was like, I wouldn't have done that. So as we walk down the street to go try to find a hanger to get into the car, there's alleyways on the sidewalk. And as we walk down the alleyway, guess who was sitting in the alleyway? The police officer. And we locked eyes. Let me tell you something. We locked eyes. I swear everything slowed down like it was in slow motion. Even though it was may have been a half a second, everything felt like slow motion. It was like a conversation. Yeah, I was waiting for you to hop back in that car and I was going to pull you over and take you to juvenile, but it didn't happen because the kids got locked in the car. By who? The higher self version of me, God, whatever you want to call it. That question is now answered for me because I always wondered all my life, how did that happen? But I did make the connection when the cop was in the alleyway. If I would have been able to act on what I thought was the right move as a 15-year-old child, that was going to be my future. My the trajectory of my life would have changed. You understand? I didn't know she gave me a break by letting me park the car there and letting me keep the keys. I didn't know that was a break. I did not. I thought she was old and I was going to outsmart her. That's what I thought. But the higher version of myself helped me out of that. That's one of those moments. So if you ever have, I believe, I'm not special. I believe everybody has those moments. I believe they do, but you have nobody to ask. Well, now you do. Now you have a place to ask those questions. Because I swear to you, when all of those moments that you've been questioning, never told nobody, we all do it. I didn't tell nobody. Why would I tell anybody? It makes no sense to tell anybody. So you just keep them to yourself. All of those questions will be answered. That's the reason why it doesn't make sense, because there's something there that you didn't know at the time. That's the only reason why that moment doesn't make sense. Because at that moment, there is something that you don't know. That's why if it doesn't make sense, you don't know something. It makes sense if you know what eyes to look at. That's what it means. So here I am. No, even with the car, now that I'm a grown up, I could have hit somebody. That's my mom's work car. That's what she used to take care of us. If I would have wrecked it, hurt somebody, I'm not thinking none of that. That's one of those moments that they say, when you come here, you do have a guardian angel, because that's clear. That's all of that is clear unconsciousness, driving no insurance, no license. I don't really know the law. I don't really know all the laws of the road because I'm 15. I don't know. Anything could have happened. And once I locked the keys in the car, guess who I had to call? My mother. So I had no choice. It was late at night. Guess what? I was out of there for a year to my dad. Out of there. See ya. Thank you, Mom. Glad she did it too. So I went from a big city to a small town. So no, it doesn't. This is important. None of that stuff goes unpunished. Okay, you have to pay for that. Even though the higher self, God, got me out of that, that doesn't exclude me from punishment. That it doesn't. Okay, just understand that you still have to pay for doing that. So I got sent down from a big city to a small town in Texas for a year. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Culture shock. Pigs were not no longer packaged up in the store, nice and neat. No, I had to go there and smell them and tend to them. That was okay. I get it. Totally get it. Thank you, God. Thank you. I won't do that anymore. I don't want to be here. No, sure don't. You don't want to do that no more. No, I don't. I understood the punishment. You gotta once you acknowledge it, you have to pay for it or do something. I don't know. Everything, put it this way, everything I've done throughout my life, I had to pay for it. I did. Everything is what you listen, what you put in is what you get out. I'm telling you, what you put in is what you get out. So if you put in good, you're gonna get out good. You put in bad, you're getting back bad. That's how it works. I wish I would have known this in my 20s, in my 30s. Stay out of debt. Don't play the credit game. I would have been rich. I would have been wealthy by I would have been no wealthy. Rich in my 20s. I would have been rich in my 20s. Easy, 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 easy. Nobody would have known how I was doing it. Uh, 99% of it, you will never have bad relationships. Nothing, none of all that stuff, man. You don't, I didn't even know I didn't have to be part of that. I didn't even know that. You don't have to be part of any of that, worrying about who, what was going to do stuff behind your back. Oh, you guys have no idea how much of a relief. You don't really understand how much energy people put in this dating stuff, right? Because you just don't know. You got to check. Man, it's really easy. It's not difficult at all. That's another part of the noise. And no, that's more like weight. You worrying about a person, who they are when you try to date. All you got to do is talk to them. All I have to do is listen to a woman. I just have to just listen to her, and I can tell what she is, what she's about, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But I could just tell you right now, the freedom, the weight, the freedom of debt, the noise. I don't know. I wouldn't even date a woman that was in debt. You understand? Because that's a lot of noise. They don't know that. They don't know debt causes a lot of problems and fights and money problems. None of that exists when you're not doing any of that. That's all noise. When you have no debt, you're free. That goes along with being awake. I mean, that's part of my awakening. Okay, I'm just telling. I guess that's more of telling you what I did. Right? I got out of debt. Didn't really understand what it was going to do to change my life. Change my life. I was like, oh wow. Then that's when I started focusing on the time in my life, because when I was in debt, all I'm doing is thinking about hours. Excuse me. Hours, overtime, uh, whatever, right? That's the focus, right? But once I got out of debt, all I think about is the time of my life. How can I own the majority of it? What must I do to own the majority of the time in my life? What should I do? And then once I understood this, the mathematical fact of capitalism is psychological, positive and negative, I was like, that's the answer. Yes, that's it. That's the answer. Once I understood that, I've been never more free in my life until I started working on the mental part of it. And then once I started doing that, removing people that don't need to be there, trusting the sixth sense. You guys really understand that is real. Everybody knows it's real, but they don't really know it's real. Everybody does it. Hey, I felt a chill from that guy. He was why nobody stops you and says, hey, whoa, how'd that happen? What'd you do? How'd you do it? Nobody's gonna be able to give you an answer, but they know that it's true, and it ends up being true. You will know once you awaken. You will know that all of that is true. That's all true. It's not a hunch. It's not a no. It's true. It's true. If you're next to a person and you feel jealousy from them, it's probably true. How do I know that? Because I've never been jealous of anybody in my life. So nobody in the world could ever say, hey, I was around LJ and I felt like he was jealous of me. Absolutely not. That's a fact. So I know they didn't. Because I've never been like that. I don't care what people have, where they work, or what. It's when you awaken, You really don't care about none of that, because if they're in debt, it doesn't matter what kind of they're just a professional in debt. That's it. Who makes a lot of money and they're in debt. It doesn't, and then you really understand how smart really people are. Hey, smart person, do you know it doesn't take 30 years to buy a house? Absolutely not. You have a mortgage. You don't know because you have a mortgage. A mortgage says you don't know it takes 1 day to buy a house. That's the psychological part. The calculator even says it. The calculator says when you put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and you look at that large negative number, the calculator says you own nothing, not even yourself. That's what that number says. But if you believe that number means equity and appreciation, tax write-off, hey, you believe whatever you want to believe, but the calculator says that's nothing. When I was in there, I didn't know that. I did just like everybody else. Hey, be part of the American dream. Never once did I stop and say, wait a minute. The American dream, I got to be asleep to do that, right? Yes, you got to be asleep. You have to be asleep. If you think it takes 30 years to buy one house, you're sleeping. You're asleep. You're part of the American dream. Nobody's hiding anything. I would have said, wait a minute, what the you come to the, now I'm on the positive side. It's like, I get it. Okay. I chose that. Yes. You chose that, Linnell. You chose that. You don't you don't look at Warren Buffett the same way. You don't look at Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. You know what those guys are doing? They're showing you what's possible. Don't worry about this. Take your mind off their money. Okay. Take the money away. Stop listening to how much they're making in the company. Don't worry about all that. Just look what they're doing. Do you understand? The money is the byproduct of their dreams or whatever they're doing. They're saying you can do it too, and there's plenty of room for everybody. That's what that says. It doesn't even listen. Take yourself out of the capitalism and put a business in. Run your business properly. You can't become wealthy if you don't understand taxes. If you're cheating on your taxes right now as you watch this video, that means you don't understand because you're cheating. Do you understand? That's just like you're suiting up on a football game and you think you're going to go face mask everybody. No, how long you think you're going to be in the game? Not long. Sure won't. You won't be able to play. You do it one more time, you're out. Same goes with taxes. If you're cheating, you're face masking. Do you understand? It's soon here. Let me give you a part of the language that you don't really hear. If you hear anybody complaining about taxes, that means they don't understand. Do you understand? If you understood, you would understand that taxes help build wealth. That's part of your peace when you awaken. That's part of all that. The only reason why I'm talking about the finance part because it involves math. Even if you don't like what I'm saying, even if you still believe you're a homeowner with a mortgage, if you open up the calculator and put those numbers in, you see a large negative number. Whatever you believe past that large negative number is a choice. Do you understand? That's a choice. So if you ever want to come to this part and understand the psychological part behind it, here's a piece. Why do millions of people believe they could buy a house with a mortgage? They're supposed to think that. Do you understand? That's what they're supposed to think. You don't have to be there. You can buy a house for real. You let them keep believing that. That's business. That's nothing personal. That's a choice. When you awaken, that allows you to pull your feelings out of it. So when people speak negative or say you're old or you don't know what you're talking, hey, they're not arguing against me, the people that can hear me. They're arguing against the calculator. Do you understand? Something's wrong. That not wrong, they just don't know. I'm not fighting with anybody that do not believe the calculator. That makes something wrong with me. That would say something's wrong with me. That's like saying you put in 1 + 1 = 2 on the calculator and you show it to somebody and that person says, I don't believe it. Convince me otherwise. Would you stand there and convince them otherwise? No, you would just walk away. You understand that, it will help you better understand what I'm talking about before. A lot of the people have pictures in their mind of memories of something they just remember for no odd reason. Uh, Something that didn't quite, a moment that didn't quite make sense, and they still think about it 20 years later. All of those moments will be answered. Do you understand? When you awaken, then it just makes sense. Your entire life will be different if you're even if you're in something right now that you believe that's impossible to get out of. Ask God. All you got to do is ask God. Now, I don't want you to thinking that, say like you're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. And then you ask God to get you out of something, but you're still doing the things that you're not supposed to doing. I don't think it works like that. I'm pretty sure, but because I didn't do that. He will get you out. He got me out of many more, but the recent two were pretty big. The recent two were pretty big, and he got me out of both. How did I do it? I'm going to repeat this too. God gave us all the gift of choice. I said, God, I'm taking my gift that you gave me and I choose you. That's what I did. Does that mean I go to church? Nope. I'm not into organized religion. I'm not into none of that. None of that. Because it has nothing to do with that. I said, I choose you. That's it. It was that easy. That easy. Well, I had to realize that is all I had to do. If I would have said that in my 20s, in my 30s, you guys don't even understand. When I see Elon bring a rocket back from space, I said, "Damn, I gotta hurry up. Look at that amazing shit he's doing." Do you understand knowing that capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative is bigger than Elon bringing back? Well, I'm not going to say bigger. Let me not downplay somebody. It's just as big as that. It's just as big as that. Bringing a rocket back from space. It's just as big as that. Sure is. Now, the only way you guys are going to see it is when, of course, I'm worldwide, and that's why I'm making these videos now. This is the important part, okay? This is the very important part. Before I go global all over the world, I'm telling you now that I'm going to do it. You understand? I'm telling you today. I'm telling you now. So you guys can understand how it works. So when it happens, you won't say, oh, he's just talking. No, he said that back in 2025. I want you to hear me saying it now. So you will never question what I'm talking about. So you won't even question it. Because once you know, that's it. You know. It's not even work, not even difficult. You just talk about the things that you guys cannot see. That's it. Not really difficult. That's all. I just go back and forth, but for you that you don't understand, the only way I can show you is through math, because it's undeniable, and you guys know it is undeniable. You can't have feelings about mathematics. If you do, the problem is with you. Do you understand? If I show you the calculator, and it's a large negative number, and your feelings start adding up, I start building up. I don't know why. Then you'll come to the positive side, and you guess what? You'll become wealthy. Every It's a beautiful thing. A place where when I was caught up in the debt matrix, I didn't think this kind of peace existed. I thought you had to be rich. I thought you had to win the lottery. I thought you had to be in a wealthy family. You already know what your true wealth and peace is. You already know. You already know it. It's only what you believe it is, not what TV says and cars and houses. No, it's what you believe it is. You already know today. All you have to do is figure out how to get there. That's all you got to do. And I'm going to give you a hint. Maybe you want to listen to it or not, but you better start listening to the higher version of yourself. The only way you're going to do that, you got to start quieting the noise around you. All that. People, things, job chitter chatter, rumor, watching stupid stuff on about other people. Hey, you better shut it all up if you want to hear yourself. You might have to turn your phone off. You might have to turn it off. Start out with listen, start out with 10 minutes. Just start out with 10 minutes powering your phone off for 10 minutes. Now, if you're a person right now that's saying, I can't do that, listen to yourself. That means you're addicted to your phone. That's called an addiction. If you can't turn your phone off for 5-10 minutes, that means you're an addiction. You're addicted to your phone. That's an addiction if you can't do something. You got to quiet down the noise so you can hear the higher version of yourself. Because I promise you, he or she is talking to you. Every time, say you're about to do something bad that you're not supposed to do, that little voice comes up and says, maybe you shouldn't do that. That wouldn't be nice. And then the dark side comes in and says, you better get that paper. You want that PlayStation, you want those shoes, right? Yeah, that's the only way you're going to get it. None of that is true. You can get paper and shoes and all that stuff, but you can do it the right way. You can. And even more than that way. That's limited, very limited. You got to quiet the noise. You got to quiet the people around you. There's a lot of noisy people around you with different ideas and perspectives of life because each person, listen, there is one world. This is what you see when you're awakened, okay? There is one world. Everybody knows this. But every single person has their own perspective of it. So that means the way you look at the world, this person might be close. That's why you guys are friends, because at this moment, you guys are looking at the world close enough to have the same perspective of. That's why you guys are friends. But some people's perspectives change and you'll realize we're not really friends. No, just at that particular time, because you guys were in the same perspective at that time. That's it. When I look back now at the perspective I'm at now, and I look back at every single perspective that I lived in, now I understand why we all were friends and why we were talking, why we did this. That's why I get it. Totally get it. Totally get it. Totally makes sense. But if I could go back who I am today, back in my 20s, none of us would be friends. None of us. Not saying that I'm better than them, and I'm saying that I would have had 100% different perspective than I had back then. That's it. Nobody's better than nobody. There's no levels. There's none of that. Nobody's on a higher level. I'm not on a higher level. I'm just telling you, I'm in the perspective of math. That's what I'm in. And if you believe you can buy a house with a mortgage, you are not in the same perspective as I. I'm not better than you. I just trust the calculator. You don't. That's it. The calculator says You can buy a house in one single day, and you don't have to be rich. Every house, now, the perspective I live in, I don't see the housing market the same as you guys do. Everybody that has a mortgage, I don't even pay attention to them. I don't care the perspective of people that live. It doesn't matter to me. I understand, listen, on the positive side, I understand that that is the necessity because the housing market wouldn't exist if people didn't believe that mortgages buy houses. You guys understand that? If they said nobody can buy a house unless they have cash, that means there won't be no neighborhoods, there won't be no housing market because you guys have no money to buy a house in cash. Once you come to the positive side and you awaken and you start a business, I'm telling you, business owners, I'm telling you, they will not be able to make moves like you. Your peers, your competitors, they will not be able to move like you. And they won't understand how you're moving the way you're moving. They can't. It's impossible. You will move different. You'll listen to the way other people around you when they talk about the business and what they're doing with their money. There'll be dead giveaways, and they won't even know that they're telling you. They won't even know it. All positively, running smooth. All the players know. Everybody involved in the business game. All the players know. Everybody knows everything. That's how it works. You're like, taxes are your friend? Taxes are your friend. They're not evil and bad. You won't add your feelings to a word. Taxes is a word. So when you hear people add their feelings to it, guess what that says? They don't know. Why? Because they're adding their feelings to a word. Taxes is not a thing. You can't touch taxes. Where's taxes at? Is taxes a square or something? Is it a round peg? What is it? It's nothing. It's a word. You won't do that anymore. I'm telling you, business owners, let me tell you, I'm telling you right now. If your goal is to get bigger, whatever your goal, if you're one of those people that just don't settle, this is it. Oh, I'm cool with this. You striving to just do more and more, not not in a bad way, but just naturally, just the way it happens. I'm telling you, you will have the advantage over millions of people, millions. What I teach is not in books that I know of. No videos. There's no videos on any internet platform that you can think of because they don't know. They don't listen. They don't know this mathematical fact. Make sure you guys understand that when you hear me say that mathematical fact. If I was 30 with this knowledge, man, I'd be sitting up there with Warren Buffett and his buddy that just passed. I forgot his name. Mm. And man, it's so easy. It's a it, it mm. Once you understand it, you're gonna be mad at yourself for probably a few years. Yes, you are. Especially you tax professionals. Especially you tax professionals. You guys are gonna be really mad at yourself. Sure are. The I imagine like the tax professionals that say like the tax professionals that are in debt, okay? That when people submit their taxes, because math doesn't lie. You guys don't understand. Math can tell a story. If you guys don't know, you guys don't know. Math tells a story. And you submit all, I can only imagine the stuff that you submit to them. And It's clearly they can clearly see that you're doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. I know they can see it. They have to be able to see it. They have to. But then they have a dilemma. Damn, if I do this, I'm not going to get paid. And a lot of people, because I can only imagine how many people do it. Just lie just to get more money and taxes on their tax return. It's just crazy, right? Only the ones, I picture this, and this is just my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion, all right? Only the ones that are deep in debt would even play with that, would even try to move around the numbers and all this stuff, would even touch that with a 10-foot pole, right? Because the tax professionals who are personally debt free would never do that. They wouldn't even, and it's obvious. People that cheat on their taxes, you guys don't know that you're obvious because millions of you guys do it, so they get practice every day, like every single day of the minute of the day, because you guys are always doing it, and you guys do the same thing, but you guys don't know you do the same thing, right? They have to cross their fingers, make sure they don't get caught by an audit or something. I couldn't even imagine that kind of being under that pressure, because you better believe there are some tax professionals that live with that every day. Wonder if they're going to get a knock at the door from the IRS. Is today the day I'm going to be owned by the IRS for years to come? Is that going to be the day? You know how much pressure that is? That's also called noise too. That kind of stuff. All of that is clear. If you're a person that are scared that the IRS is going to come knocking at your door, that's part of the noise and pressure that you put on yourself. I help you get away from all of that. You guys understand? I can help you get away from all of that legally, because that's the only way. Legally, I'll point you in the right people to help you. I'm not a professional tax anything, but I can point you to the right tax professionals. I can tell you which ones are full of crap, which ones are, if they're people. A lot of you live like that too. That's part of the awakening stuff. That's all part of it. You got to write down a list. Put which ones are in order for you, from hardest to worst, or whatever you want to do it. You can go easiest to hardest, whatever. Just like Dave Ramsey's baby steps. Write it down on a piece of paper if you have to. Because the reason why I'm even here telling you, because I want everybody to feel this freedom. I do. The world that you're probably thinking of right now, I'm telling you right now, that is a perspective. That is just a single perspective that gets pushed through social media. All you got to do is to stop watching it. Just stop watching it. It's preventing you from seeing other perspectives. The other perspectives are beautiful. People are nice. People say hello. How are you doing? And they mean it. It's just the way you speak to people differently. If you act different, it doesn't matter what people call you, especially in that perspective of the world. If you come across somebody that's trying to start gonna call you some names or something because you're living your life differently, that means they know you are leaving that perspective and they don't like it, and they just don't want you to leave because they want to stay there because they're talking about you. You can start living like this in your 20s. You guys hear me? You can start living like this in your 20s. You guys are closer to freedom than the majority of people. You know why? Because you don't have much life experience. To you, whatever's going on, it's a lot. I'm sure I'm not downplaying what might have happened in your life right now, but I'm just saying right now, it can stop in your 20s. Right now, it can stop. You can begin a whole new life starting in your 20s and live better than the people that have not and still living the same way at my age. I'm 55. Even saying that, it's weird even saying 55. I don't feel it. My body sure don't look like it. You see TV commercials, people with hand walkers, and then they have problems with their sexual. Hey, listen, if you don't take care of yourself, I'm gonna tell you right now, men and young men, listen to me. If you don't take care of yourself, all of the commercials that you're seeing on TV about having problems in your 50s, they will become true if you don't take care of yourself now, like I did. I took care of myself. I didn't. Once I started seeing my belly getting big, I stopped. I was like, nope. Okay, high blood pressure. Take care of that. Taking care of my weight. You better take care of it. I said to myself, as long as I don't stop it, I'm not going to ever have a conversation like that with a woman. Ever. Nah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to rely on some pill or something. No, I could just do it myself. And you take care of yourself. None of those commercials will be true for you. But if you do not take care of yourself, everything you're seeing will be you. Do you understand? That's who those commercials are for. They're not for me. They're for men that didn't take care of themselves in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s. That's what that is. Take care of yourself now, and you will never have to have one of those conversations with a woman at the wrong time. You don't want that. You don't want that conversation. Because I'm seeing the young men right now. I'm telling you. I see you guys letting yourself go. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take care of yourself. Take care of your teeth. Take care of your teeth. Take care of your teeth. I'm telling you, take care of your teeth. I'm giving you guys some gems right now. I'm dropping them as an awakened person. Mm. Oh no, I'm not saying don't smoke no weed. I'm not saying none of that. Not saying none of that. Now I understand. Listen, and for the people that smoke, let me tell you this. Most people smoke to not think about problems. Heavy indica, that just knock you out and put you to sleep. When you when you smoke and you have no problems, you only want. I only like what's the not the indica, the opposite. I can't even think of it now. But you don't want the indica at all. You don't want the indica. You don't want stuff that just puts you to sleep like that. You don't want that because it does. But when you smoke and you have no problems, it helps you. It helped me. Let me just speak about myself. It helped me. It's different because you got to think about it. Most people use drugs to hide problems, to avoid, to not think about problems, right? Most people do that. But when I smoke, I don't have any problems. But I don't smoke indica either. I don't want to go to sleep. I like to function. It helps you. It helped me. That's how I know that capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative. That's how I know your credit reports are your debt slave papers. That's a hard reality to. I know nobody's ever told you that, but all you got to do is look and go on your credit report. You will clearly see that you are owned. It's clear. Nobody's hiding anything. You guys think it's a big secret or something? No, it's not. Go look on your credit report. Go see how many owners you have. Your credit scores, listen closely, nobody's ever going to tell you this. Your credit scores are nothing more than reward points for staying in debt with your owners listed on your credit report. That's it. That's it. That's the answer. You know how upset I was? You know how upset I was? What's going on here? Let me see what's on. Hmm. Just a second here. Message deleted. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Ah, okay. Huh. For the young ones that can hear me, okay, I'm going to save you so many relationship problems, uh, divorce court problems, splitting half your earnings. If you guys just listen, you won't have those kind of problems. Your perspective of life will be much, much different than people believe it can be. Look at your look at your credit reports. Those are your papers. You cannot own yourself until you pay back all your owners. Only then is when you can be free. Your credit report proves it. I'm the only person on the internet that has shown my entire credit report on savings minus debt. I'm the only person on the internet. Not my credit score, my entire credit report. Why? Because it shows that I'm free. Does it, you understand? It shows that I own myself. My credit report shows you that I own myself. That's what it does. Once you understand that, then you can work on the mental part. Then you don't have to hear, you won't even pay attention to people that don't understand, don't get it. It doesn't matter. They're going to be there forever. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they say. It does whatever. They can feel this energy. That's why they beg for it. They're begging for it. They beg for it every day. Hey, look, talk to me. Hey, can't you see what I'm saying? Just all of that is energy. That takes energy to type, text, press send. All of that is energy. All of it. They don't know that. They don't know that. Whatever. You come here and you learn a totally different perspective of the world. Guess what? Your world is different, totally different. You don't even, all of that is noise. You understand? All of it. You just don't even, you can not hear it. Do you believe me that I don't even, that's a switch. That's like a light switch to me. Flick, flick. Because remember, you need people that don't know because none of this works without them. They don't know. So in order to make money, you need them. Everything counts, people. Everything counts. Everything counts. Especially when you're trying to get your name out there, everything counts. They get friends and those guys get their friends and it just adds up. But what they don't understand is like they're really not friends. There's going to be one or two that come over here and they be like, what is he talking about? He's right. I don't own nothing. Those papers do look like debt. They do look like slave papers. They do. Yes, they are. Then once you own your own time in your life, once you free yourself, and then you really work on yourself. Then you work on the inner part. This is where that happens. That's where the magic happens. You start working on the inner part of yourself. That's where the magic happens. You start eliminating people. You don't listen to noisy people. You just don't listen to them anymore. You don't care what they say. You don't even care. Doesn't even matter. Confidence, let me tell you something about confidence. Confidence to some people sound like arrogance. It sounds like, but everything I'm saying, I'm proving with a calculator, so it's none of that. That's how you know when people talk like that, it's 100% feelings because all I'm doing is saying what I see on the calculator. That's it. I'm not doing anything else, nothing. Oh, you're talking that. How am I talking? I'm pointing at the calculator. What am I doing? Then you learn to ignore that. It doesn't matter what people how it doesn't matter how a person feels about the calculator. That's a huge hurdle to get over. But that's part of your journey if you ever want complete peace. That's a huge journey. That's a huge hurdle you got to get over if you ever want to be here. Because doing that helps you realize that there is another something else once you get over that part. Once you get over that, you're like, all those people believe that? Yes. It's psychological. They don't know. They don't even know. Then you're like, okay, then there's more. Yes, there's more. There's way more. You know, the only way you're going to become wealthy is own a successful business. Create it. Create a successful business. And then you'll really, really understand. As long as you do it the right way, the legal way, all that stuff. Then you'll get here and realize the only thing you're trying to work towards is owning the time in your life. That's the only goal. How can I own 100% of the time of my life? That is your only, absolute only goal. How am I going to do that? Because when I was in debt, I didn't know that I didn't own the time in my life. But once I freed myself, I do now. It's going to take hard work. It's going to be scary. It's going to be it's going to be to break out of the 40-hour work week overtime stuff hour program. In order to do that, it's going to take a lot of work because it's going to be scary because you're not going to know anything else. You've only known that all your whole entire life. What else is there? What else can I do besides this? You're going all that chitter chatter. What if? What if? What if? What about insurance? What about this? Anything to keep you from breaking out of the matrix. Because that's what I got. All that chitter chatter. All that. But once I got out of debt, a lot of that chitter chatter, like 75% of that chitter chatter stopped because I had no debt. That was a big part of the scary part. And then there's other parts, and it's just all designed to keep you in there, keeping you from feeling how free you can be. And you don't have to be rich and wealthy. All of that is none of that. None of that is true. All of that is not true. That's the majority of what you hear there. You will realize is people projecting their fears to why they don't do it, why they don't try to start a business, why they don't whatever. That they're just projecting their fears. And if you believe it, fears, false evidence appearing real psychologically, fears. If you let them suck you into their fears, guess what it's going to do? It's going to freeze you too. Then you'll never be able to reach this peace. You'll never be able to reach it because of other people's fears stopping you. Hey, 5 out of 10 businesses. Hey, listen, get away from me. 2 out of then I'm going to be one of the two that succeeds. That's what you got to tell those kind of people that do that, projecting their fears on you. Young people, I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening. There's a lot of people out there projecting their fears as to why they don't want to do anything or try anything. Do not let them freeze you. Do not let them put their fears into you. Do not let them do that. You stay far away from people that do that. Get away from them because they're going to be in the debt matrix until they're dead. You don't want to be them. You don't want to be by them. You don't want none of that. You don't want no parts of that. Millions of people projecting. They don't know they're projecting their fears. They don't know they're talking about themselves. Do not let them do that. Call your idea stupid. That's dumb. That won't make any money. They're talking about themselves. Do you understand? They don't know it takes hard work. It takes failures. Failures. I don't even call them failures. Those things help you learn. That's how you. That's how you. That's how you invent stuff. Oh, that's why I didn't try it. See what happened to you? Get away from them. Get away from them. From the person that doesn't try anything. And 9 times out of 10, it's always a person that hasn't tried anything, never because of something else stopped them. That's why they didn't listen. There are people out here willing to help you achieve your goal the correct way, inspiring you, not throwing fears in your ear. Mm. Hmm. Anybody with any questions? Let me see. Starting now. Let's say starting now because there's a lot of stuff going on there. Thank you to my mods. Thank you. Doing your job. Appreciate it. Thank you. Any questions? And I see you guys putting in work too. People trying to say all kind of stuff. Yeah, I learned from the last one. I said I got to get some mods up in here because you guys are going wild up in here. Do not feed the trolls. You hear me? Do not feed the trolls. If you feed the trolls, you out of here too. All right. Do not feed the trolls. We do none of that in here. Thank you to my mods. Appreciate it. Herbert Scott says this happens to me. Dreams with the narc in them. Yep. Have you had dreams with the narc X? What do you think? No, I don't. I don't have dreams of her. I do not. I can promise you to tell you that. Everybody's experience is different, of course, but no, I don't really. I don't think about her or have dreams or anything like that. So, and it counts on the dynamics. I don't know your situation, how many years, what you accepted. Everybody know that if you're in the people that have been in narcissistic relationships, they know how horrible they could be. But everybody's experienced that. One person might get a narc that wasn't physically violent, like mine was. She was very physically violent. She was she's just not a nice person. She just put it that way. What's up, Abigail? Hello. Sub Live, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. What's going on? What's up, LJ? What did the narcissist thing say about Ramil when you would listen to him? Oh yeah, she had all kind of things to say about him. Who is he? He think he's just, she was always saying negative stuff. She was always saying negative stuff about Ramil. mm-hmm. Abigail says, I have been learning disability. Oh, I have a learning disability and special needs. Okay. All right. And you're on here too. Appreciate you for showing up. Thank you. Do you believe in God? Yes, I do, for sure. hmm Any questions about what I do, about my awakening process, whatever, whatever you guys want to talk about. And the reason why I mix a little bit of SMD in here, because like I said before, uh, You can't really, the only way I can explain the psychological to people that don't know it exists, I can use math and show you guys demonstrations on the calculator. That's the only way I can show you, because math is undeniable. For sure. He sure will. He will always be here for me. Always has. Trust me. God has. Now that when I look, listen, when I look back on my life, I can see every single situation that he got me out of. I can see it. It's always the ones that, whoa, how'd that happen? Well, whoa, I just did. Okay, I get it. Totally get it. I don't read the Bible, Abigail. I don't read the Bible. I don't follow, what did I say? Traditional religion. I don't follow religions. Yeah, I don't read the Bible. I don't do any of that. Thank you for stopping by, King Leo. Much appreciated. Any other questions? If you've been following me, God got me out of two narcissistic relationships back to back, back to back. And both times I thought I lost everything, both times. Both times I didn't. Both times I was wrong. Because narcissists, they they love to threaten you with the stuff that things that are important to you. That's what they do, because they know that's what you care about, so that's what they're going to break or destroy or use something against you. That's what they do. So I broke up with my ex-boyfriend last year. Okay. I'm assuming you're saying he's a narcissist? Man, this bad boy getting thick quick. I have a narcissist who told me she jealous of me of having a good. That's true, Robert. You know that's true. You know that's true. You know that is true. That's narcissists are jealous of you because they can't do the things that you can do, especially chosen ones. They cannot. The narcissist I was with, man, she just was. Oh my goodness, she couldn't do nothing by herself. I had to help her do everything, and she wanted credit for every. It was just, oh my goodness. I was like, man, you are dragging me down, and I was right. I had to get on out of there. How does it feel to be awakened? It feels like earlier I said earlier. The best way I can describe it is when I've heard people say everything in their life makes sense. That's exactly what it is. Everything just makes sense. It really does just make sense. Every everything I had questioned that I wondered years why, what, all of that was answered. All of it. All of it. And awaken means to me, it doesn't, I don't think, well, I know, it doesn't mean I know everything. It's just I know that I'm awake now, meaning that I know there's no way a narcissist will get in my life. Well, 99% chance there's a narcissist will not be able to enter my life without me discovering them well before. Like, let me give an example. Me, I wouldn't date anybody who's in debt. If she's in debt, we're not dating because it's pointless. Now, women would hear me say that. Who do you think he is? And those are all feelings, because if you've been in debt all your life, you don't know what it causes. You don't know what debt brings to you. All this stress and problems and arguments and who's paying what, and you only pay this. All of that doesn't exist when you have no debt. None of that exists. If they're late on a bill and their credit's getting bad, all of that is pressure, and that seeps into the relationship unknowingly, of course. People don't know that because they think debt is normal. People don't really understand it. So that eliminates like a huge portion of problems for me. And some guys, they would listen to me and say, well, would you have be in a sexual relationship with the person in debt? No, because it confuses things. Feelings start getting involved, and like, well, we've been dating for, or seeing each other for the. Oh no, it's a different kind of freedom. It's not a it's not a putting a person down or making them feel bad about. It's not none of that. It's a freedom that I'm trying my best to describe to people that have never felt it, because I've never felt it. I didn't know this existed. I thought money, I thought money was the answer to all my freedom problems and all this other. No, it's none of that. I mean, that helps. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't. It's not like that. Because all you got to really think, like when you see wealthy people get divorced, you should say that to yourself. Well, like, wait a minute, they're wealthy. Why they have problems? Exactly because it has nothing to do with money. Period. But if once you free yourself first, you will see that clearly. What if you're put it this way, God only will, now I understand the saying, God will only give you what you can handle. That is so true. Where what it took for me to go through to get to this point in my life, if God would have told me what I was going to have to go through to get here all at once, I don't think my brain would have been able to handle it. That makes sense. If he says, okay, you're going to have to do all this before you can awaken. And I would have looked at that stuff and I've been like, what? He had to give it to me piece at a time, piece at a time. And this is what I've learned. I'm gonna tell you guys something. This is what I've learned on my journey. The harder the harder the obstacle, the wall, the bigger the reward on the other side of it. So no matter if this one, if this particular relationship with a narcissist seemed like it's the worst, and you why I keep dating the same type of woman or a guy, but this one seems to be particularly worse, that means there's something bigger on the other side of that. Because this last one with my sister, that was the biggest one in my life. That was the biggest obstacle in my life, the biggest one. My sister and I have never argued a day in our life, and she tried to destroy me. God knew the only way I was going to officially believe that my sister was a narcissist, she had to do it to me. God said, I have to feel it. That's the only way I'm going to believe it. The only way I was going to believe it, she had to do it to me. She had to do it. Nobody told me. It didn't come from a third party. She had to do it. And she did. And now I'm awake. And all I had to do, I'm gonna give you guys a heads up. So if you're in it, because I know a lot of people are, all you have to do, this is how you'll know and save, if you want to save yourself this pain, if you want to save the pain of not save the pain, but save the pain of them actually doing things to you because you're separating yourself from them, all you have to do is look how they treat other people in their lives. How are they treating their boyfriend or girlfriend? How are they treating their other friend, talking behind their back? My sister did all that. Talk behind a friend's back, trying to talk to me. I'm like, hey, I don't want to hear all that. That's all you have to do is look. And if you stay, it's going to be you. That's a heads up. You could take that advice if you want to or not. You can. You being a family member has nothing to do with being a narcissist. Nothing. That's a hard fact to swallow, but you better swallow it quick. You can do it right now. Just see how they treat other people. Do not think you're an exception because you're a brother or a sister or uncle or whatever. You're not. I promise you that you're not. You can get ahead of it. You can save yourself Not all the pain, but a lot of it. You don't have to feel the pain that I had to go through. You don't have to feel that. You can get ahead of it. You could just believe what they're showing you, how they treat other people. All you have to do is believe it. That's it. Just believe it. Believe it can be you. Believe it can be you. You can get ahead of it right now. Don't tell them nothing. Don't say nothing. Separate your stuff. If you got some joint stuff, whatever, get your stuff. You got to remove. You can remove everything that they could use to do something to you. Take all that stuff. You can be playing chess right now. You can be playing chess while they're doing what they're doing. You can be making moves, and then when you make your move to cut them off, they have nothing to do anything. They can't do something to hold you something. Doesn't matter. You can get ahead of it right now. Sure can. You know what I used to say? When I watched my sister do bad things to her boyfriend and other people and talk about, I used to say, well, that's not me. She wouldn't do that to me. She wouldn't do that to me because we never had a fight in our lives. She wouldn't do that to me. I was wrong. She tried to put me in jail. Sure did. All because I wouldn't let her use me. That's what narcissists do. And you know what my problem was? For the first bad things she was doing to me, I was in shock. Oh my God, I can't believe she must be tripping. She's mad. She'll stop doing that. Nope, she kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Once the mask falls, that's it. When the mask falls, they don't say, hey, I'm sorry. They get worse. And then they're going to show you who they truly are. But when they do, you can be in a nice, safe place with none of their tentacles attached to you. You can be a nice, safe place. And if they call, all you have to do is block the phone, and that is it. That's it. You can get ahead of the game right now. Boyfriend, girlfriend, relative, all you have to do is see how they treat other people. And understand, doesn't matter if you're having sex with them and it's good, you have kids, none of that matters to a narcissist, none of it. All of those things are just things that they're going to use against you. That's what they're going to do. You can get ahead of the game right now. You better start playing some chess right now. Especially the ones that are relatives, sister or brother. You can get right now. You can just look at your relative and see how they treat other people. You'd be like, oh, I better start making my exit plan right now. Let me start doing it. Hey, you want to do a shared phone plan? Nope. Will you co-sign on this car? Nope. Nothing together, nothing joined, especially legally, nothing. No same apartment, nothing. Because let me tell you something, they will destroy themselves as long as you come with them and everything around them. They don't care about nothing. And if you're an ambitious person trying to get out here and make something of yourself, enjoy life, they don't care about none of that. And those of you, here's a really strong one. I'm gonna leave it on this. Here's the really strong one. If you are in a narcissistic relationship right now, stop being intimate with them. Stop. No intimacy at all. None. Zero. Stop. Stop all that. They're going to threaten you. They're going to go get it from somewhere else. Let them do it. That energy that you're giving away to them by sleeping with them, you retain that energy, and that energy will help you wake up. You understand? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So instead of giving it to them, it will stay within you and help you wake up. I know you guys all heard of that. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. I know you guys all heard of it. It's true. Will it be hard? Yes, it will be hard, for sure. But your freedom is worth it. I can promise you that. From a person being in a narcissistic relationship with the top worst kind of them all. On the other side is freedom. So you have to be stronger than that urge. You have to be stronger than it. Not many people can do it. Are you going to be one of the people that can do it or cannot do it? That energy will help awaken you away from the narcissist. Sure will. Yes, it will. They're going to threaten you with everything under the sun. Stay strong. It's noise, chitter chatter, all to all to put the fears in you. False evidence appearing real psychologically. They're gonna do things, they're gonna say horrible things, things that you wouldn't imagine what they will do. They're gonna pull out everything. Why? To prevent you from waking up. But if you listen to me now, you can start playing chess. You can start making some moves right now while they're stuck off doing all their narcissistic stuff. You can be playing some chess. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When you leave a narcissist, you instantly get all your power back. Instantly. Especially when they don't know what's coming. Especially when they don't know what's coming. You instantly get your power back. Instantly. They don't want that. They don't want that at all. Because you're going to cause a narcissistic injury. And you're going to leave them with it. When you play chess now, you make your move, it's going to cause the worst narcissistic injury ever in their lives. And you're going to leave them with it. Never speaking to them again, ever. They'll never forget you, ever. They're never going to forget you. But guess what? You're going to forget them. Well, no, I take that back. I thank my narcissist because she helped me awaken. Without that experience, I wouldn't have known narcissistic people existed. I wouldn't have known that. My narcissistic relationship prepared me for my narcissistic sister. It prepared me to identify her quickly and remove her just as fast. You get stronger and stronger. First, I get the test with the narcissist of the two closest people to me in my life. Love, sex, sibling. That's all up in here. Now that I've removed those, every other one is a piece of cake. That's nothing. That's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Everybody down, nothing. Every narcissist after that, nothing. I'm gonna get out of here. Hour and 40 minutes. Hmm. You guys have a good one. Let me see. Okay. Leave a comment. You've been through this, going through this, let me know. Leave a comment. All right. You're welcome, everybody. Thank you to all my mods. Thank you. Monique, all James, all you guys. I appreciate you guys all. Just not here today, trolls. Not here. We don't feed the trolls here. We don't do that. I want the people that are here to listen in the message. That's all noise. They don't want you to hear this. Who do you think they're working for? The people they don't want you to hear this. Who do you think they're working for? You can't come here with that. No, you can't. Not here. You guys have a wonderful evening. All right. Later.